Welcome to the Choose on Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Becky Ploutz, and we are in the episode to discuss our February monthly theme of Reflect Growth in the OP community. And I'm joined by one of our members today, Tara Parks. Welcome, Tara.
Hi, Becky. Great to be here.
Yay. Super excited to have you join us. And this is
Yeah.
your first one that you're jumping into, all right?
Yeah. Very
Yay.
excited to be here.
Good. Well, okay, so the breakdown of what we're going to do is talk about the acronym of REFLECT. I'll have a little dialogue about what I came up with for Reflect Growth. And this
Sure.
really helps us get some dialogue from what we've been talking about inside of the OP community, right? It's a couple weeks into the month. We've had some time to kind of percolate and think about what this theme really means for us as individuals and for you as a listener. And I love learning with acronyms. If you've checked out the past episodes from our calls doing this, I love acronyms. I think it's a really quick, great way to remember how to work through things. So the R for reflect is recognize your achievements, right? So thinking about taking a minute to acknowledge and celebrate what you're actually accomplishing, no matter how small it may seem to anybody else or to you. Recognizing those achievements really boosts your confidence and motivates you to continue to move forward, which is why it's the absolute first way that we start conversations and anything that we do is in celebration and really giving ourselves some recognition. So R is to recognize your achievements.
I think that R is the word achievements, I think sometimes gets misconstrued. And people think of achievement as something that's got to be big, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think achievement is a very personal thing. If somebody is, going through some stuff personally, whether it's, mental health concerns, sometimes just getting in a shower is considered
Right.
achievement. So,
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree, recognizing your achievements, but making sure that people aren't thinking that it's like, oh, it's got to be something big. I have to do something important. It's not. Well, first of all, it has nothing to do with what anybody else thinks. And second of all, it's all about what your achievement is at your level on that day. So yeah, I totally
100%.
agree.
100%. Exactly. Like I said, it's whatever the smallest. And Tara, I know that you know this, but for our listeners, right? When we say come in and celebrate, it is the big, the small, the monumental, right? And
Absolutely.
self-care is a huge thing that we celebrate in this community, being able to show up
Absolutely.
for yourself authentically when you've taken the shower or not, and being able to celebrate whatever you have today to be grateful
Right.
for or that's bringing you joy is exactly the things that we want to hear and recognize that you're celebrating it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
love that. Love that. Okay, so let's go to the E. So the E for our acronym that we're working on is to evaluate your progress, right? So reflecting on those achievements or those intentions that you've had, right? Being able to move towards a goal of sorts and evaluate what's really working well, what might need some improvement. And I say might need improvement, right? Because we can recognize where we could improve, and we could also choose to stay away from doing the improvement. We could actively choose to self-evaluate, identify it, and then say, that's not a priority for me right now, and that's okay too. So
Mhm.
recognizing our growth and being able to know that we can refine, and we can also choose to just recognize that it's not where we want it to be, and that's okay too.
Yeah, I totally agree. Um, I think that I had a thought and it was right there and something just distracted me and then it's gone. Um, yeah, say what you just said just really quick.
Yeah, I did like looking at growth and how you want to refine if you do want to, and being able to, right, evaluate what's working well and what you may
Yes.
want to improve.
Yes. So I think that's what I really like about the tools that you have within the community as far as the daily planning sheets.
Yeah.
because we can actually do that on a daily basis and look at what are the things that we can improve. But having a system to measure that against, I think, is really important. Because if you don't have a regular system, whether it's journaling, whether it's some sort of documentation that you're using to measure your improvement or to measure your ability to move in that direction, then, say last week and I'm using this as a baseline because, well, frankly, I am going through a lot of different things. And so showering is a big
Yeah.
deal. And
Absolutely.
so, like last week, if maybe you only got 3 showers in, then you're shooting for 4 this week. But make sure that you're documenting and like you've got something concrete that you can measure yourself against. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, being able to track it, and that's a way of easily being able to recognize, right? We can't really
Yes.
recognize if we're not being aware of
Right.
what's actually happening.
Correct.
Love that. Love that. And thank you. Yeah, that's absolutely why those tools for the members are there. And actually, I will send a free worksheet for any of you listening that are like, oh, I would love to have a simple sheet that I can track my victories and improvement and make a plan for something I may want to change.
Yeah.
I'll send you the freebie that we have available. It's a daily worksheet, it's a focus sheet that tells you what are the 3 things that you want to prioritize today, what's a bonus that you may get to, and then have a space where you can put in those victories, improvements, and plans for your day.
Hmm.
Drop your email or send me a message, and I will send that over to you. Okay, let's go to the F. Focus on what matters, right? We're talking about, like I just said, talk about your priorities, right? Direct your attention to what truly matters to you and clarify what are your values and your priorities. And are those actions, right, that you're planning for, are they in alignment with those, right? Focusing on what matters most to us helps us ground and be really purpose driven in what we're looking to do in our daily life. So focus on what matters to you.
Yeah, I agree. And on that one, really not letting the influence of others, um,
Mm,
change what your focus is. Really being able to intentionally figure out what you want to focus on for yourself. And maybe the focus is something that's family oriented or something outside of yourself,
mhm.
but not letting others' opinions about what they think you should focus on, get into the mix and, really having that time for yourself where you can kind of identify what it is that you do want to focus on, because that really is super important to be able to practice mindfulness and just to be, for yourself and for your own self growth.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the word mindfulness. Every time I hear someone say it, I'm like, yeah, that's what we want, right? Mindfulness, being in, excuse me, being intentional and on purpose.
Definitely.
Um, yeah, I love that. Okay, the L is to learn from your experiences, y'all. Like, learn from the experience. That's what we're here for. Every experience, whether it is seemingly positive or negative, right? We decide that. It really offers us a valuable lesson. So
Mhm.
embrace the opportunity to learn and grow from those experiences and reflect on what you've learned and how you can actually apply those insights to your future, ambitions.
Yeah, I think the key that you just said there is applying the information. A lot of people read books, they read books incessantly, and there's nothing wrong with reading books, because books have I mean, there's knowledge all around us, right? I mean,
Right.
online, etc. Whether you're listening to podcasts, whether you're reading books, whether you're listening to audibles, but the application process is really important because without being able to apply what it is that you're consuming, you
Mhm.
really haven't learned anything. So, listening to the podcast, reading the books, is just the first step. But without the
Right.
application part, you really aren't, taking full advantage of what that knowledge and what that information can do to help you improve your growth, personal and professionally.
Yeah, absolutely. This is right. Obviously, this is where the work on purpose, the purpose, co-work and connection space really comes into
Mhm.
play for us is like having that accountability, having that support to know like we're coming and we're learning together in the process of showing up as who we are, and we're all on a different path, but really being able to okay, well, I'll just go to the E, which is embrace growth mindset, right? That's really what happens, is that we're cultivating a growth mindset that really embraces our challenges, and that we see those seemingly failures, right, as opportunities to learn and grow from them, to really bring that learning in. And that is having a growth mindset and really embracing a growth mindset that empowers us to persevere through the obstacles and continue to evolve and grow, because we are all going through something, or just went through something, or about to go through something. That embracing the growth mindset to really see that things are happening for us, and that we can learn from those experiences, I think is like the biggest, like it's probably my platform to stand up and yell, is talking about a growth mindset, to know that we have the power to shift our world with our thinking.
Absolutely. And I think whether people believe it or not, change is inevitable.
Mm,
Growth is optional, right?
mm,
So if we go into work situations, difficult situations where things are changing, if we go into them kicking and screaming, thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be terrible. I don't want this change. It's going to cause me so much stress with, changing how I
right.
think and how I have to do a process. You're just going to make it a lot worse. Where if you have that mindset of growth and of, really getting excited about changes and like dive into it as a learning experience rather than a painful experience where it's going to, make force you out of your comfort zone a little bit. But practicing getting, comfortable, being uncomfortable is going to help people with all kinds of aspects of their life. Whether it's their kids, when their kids start going from transitions from being, those little ones to now they're teenagers. And, I mean, there's just so many different ways that people can transition in life. But if you have that open mindset and that growth mindset, makes life so much easier and so much more fun.
Yeah, we want to leave space for the fun, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. At least to me, it's more fun. Maybe other people not so much, but I think that makes life way more fun.
Yeah, it keeps things interesting. Hello, we need to
Yeah.
laugh more. It gives us all kinds of good things that come from laughter.
Yes.
um and I love this. This is perfectly going into what the C is, which is cultivate self-compassion,
Mm,
right? Being kind and compassionate to ourselves, especially during those challenging, difficult setbacks that we see and that we experience, right? If you just went through it, if you're going through it now, or if you're about to do it, then guess what? We need to have that kind, compassionate look at ourselves and cultivate self-compassion
I
to
have
really
to say,
foster resilience. Look
I
at
have to
you,
show
be
you my
kind.
t-shirt.
So on brand today. I love it.
Totally.
It really helps us bounce back, right? To be stronger from those challenges. And one of our
Mhm.
culture codes, so to say, in the OP community is that we believe and we know that we are stronger together. And when we're able to show up as who we are, being authentic, radiating love, celebrating each other, we are stronger together because we're uplifting one another. So it does start with you knowing that having self-compassion when you are going through challenging times is super important.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't I couldn't agree with you more on that one. It's
Yeah.
probably the most difficult thing for people to accept is that self-compassion, because a lot of times, I know for myself, I'm my own worst enemy, right?
Mm,
I set standards
right.
for, expectations very high, and I tend to be very hard on myself. And so giving myself that grace when, I take a look at my sheets for the week and where I've at, what were my opportunities, what areas did I grow in, and just being kind
Right.
with myself and allowing that grace to really, you know, um, move you forward.
Yeah, and right, being able to reflect on that, it's like, okay, great. Now I can see again, go back to what we were talking about. What went well from your week?
Right.
You know, and I do a weekly check-in also. You know, I love that we have the daily, but I do a weekly health check to say what went well from this week, where could I improve from the week, and what would my plan be to implement those improvements. And it's the same questions, but through the filter of now I'm looking at my whole schedule. Now I can see the bite-sized pieces of where my victories were each day, and then look at, okay, overall, is there a, you know, a theme that I could see of this could really tick all those boxes off and really help me grow exponentially, and really give me that extra support when I can get a view of the whole week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. And then the T, we'll go to the T right away. Take action towards your goals. Okay, simple, right? We're going to take inspired action. I really like to put the word inspired action in there because, right, use the insights that you've gained from the reflections, right, to inform you on what is your next steps. Like I'm talking about, what are the things that from your whole week now, right? We're just using these time frames, and make a consistent action plan. You know, like where do you want to maintain the momentum that you've had and achieve your desired outcomes more consistently, right? Incorporating all of these aspects will really help you continue that trajectory that you've been working towards.
Yeah. I think that kind of goes back to the, I don't remember what the letter F was.
Focus on what matters.
Okay. There was one that was, there's something else that was also an action one. Um,
So it's
oh,
recognize. I'll just go through them really quick and then we
yeah,
can like talk about it as a whole too.
sure.
Recognize your achievements, evaluate your progress, focus on what matters, learn from your experiences, embrace growth mindset, cultivate self-compassion, and take action toward your goals.
You know, what's funny is as you read those, I almost think your E's should be flipped.
Tell me
That
more.
because I think that you're
Mm,
evaluating the goals, but I think that your evaluation should come after you're embracing the growth mindset. I think embracing the growth mindset kind of sets the stage for the rest of the growth. Without the growth mindset, the other things are not really going to be as effective. They're not going to work as well.
mm,
And so to me, the growth mindset should be the second E or the first E, and then evaluating should be towards the end as you're applying. Um,
yeah,
just my
I love that.
opinion on it. But, I think that that seems to, flow a little bit better because if you don't have a growth mindset, if you're waiting until the end to embrace the growth mindset, a lot of those other factors aren't going to be as impactful as they could be.
Hmm. Yeah, I
But
love
you're
that
right, without
awareness.
taking the action, um, I think taking the action is absolutely the thing that ties it all together without taking action on it. And you said inspired action, I think intentional, being intentional about how you learn, whether it's what podcasts are you listening to? If it's looking at like social media growth and you want to try and do some more social media, being intentional with what podcast, with what platforms you follow, instead of
Right.
just following everybody, but being very intentional about that, and taking action each time is going to help move the needle forward a lot more.
Yeah, I love that. This was so fun. Okay, Tara, tell everyone who you are and what you're passionate about before we go.
Sure. So my name is Tara Parks. I'm an artist, and I am also a customer experience slash employee experience speaker and consultant. I love working with small businesses. particularly small businesses because they oftentimes lack the resources that larger companies have. So I like to help educate small business owners and associations, etc., on how to really help make those employee experiences and those customer experiences connect and help them make more money by making those processes run a little bit smoother.
Yeah. Tara, where can our viewers connect with you?
Oh, you can find me at taraparks.com. You can also email me at tara@taraparks.com. And if you wanted a phone number, my phone number is 715-581-9950. My email, there's a form on my website if you wanted to just click that to email and link in. That'll give you all the information that you need about what I do. And then you can connect with me through the website too.
Yay. Okay, great. Get connected to Tara. Thank you for joining me in the conversation for how we'll reflect growth through this month. I think this is super helpful. I know that it's super helpful for me to have these conversations and to work out like on the acronym side of things to just help give myself another perspective of our month's theme. As you know, we're only halfway through. So we got the next couple weeks to be able to pay closer attention to
Right.
these action steps for us to really, receive a lot within the month to be able to really see what we are choosing on purpose, to
Mhm.
really pay attention to where we're intentionally setting our growth trajectory to be in alignment with our core values, our priorities, those aspirations that we have, and that we're setting our sights on really getting in the path and being able to reflect, I think is a superpower that is diminished in some ways, that it seems like, oh, I don't have time for that. Well, sis, you don't have time to just keep doing stuff that's not working. Like, if
Mhm.
we're being real, we have only so much time. Let's do the things that are intentional. Let's do the things that are on our hearts to create and to give more space and energy to those things, because we'll go further. We'll go there faster, even when it looks slow, because it will be on purpose. It will be intentional, and it'll be a choice that you're consciously, mindfully making.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. The on
Yeah, I
purpose
needed to hear
is.
that for myself, I think. Let's just be real, as we always are.
Yeah,
That is the truth. A lot of the
yeah,
times, some of the times, we say things that we need for ourselves just as much as someone else needs to hear. So I'm Becky
absolutely.
Plutz. I'm the host of the Choose on Purpose podcast. Tara Parks, thank you so much for joining us today. This
Thanks
is
for having me.
amazing. I will put the worksheet. Actually, no, sorry. Send me your email at work.onpurpose.withpurpose@gmail.com, or comment that you want that worksheet. I will send that over to you. And if you're not yet in the Choose on Purpose growth community on Facebook, find us there or click the link below, join the group, get a part of the public community for the podcast. We would love to hear from you in there as well. So make sure you like and subscribe. We will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.